So you're watching Kevin's Gunsmithing and Outdoors. I'm glad for you to join us. And today I am showing you the complete breakdown of the Maverick 243 Winchester. And what we have here is the barrel, the trigger mechanism, the bolt, the magazine spring, the magazine sleeve that goes into the internal, that makes up the internal magazine. And today I am going to show you how to properly uh, oil. I was going to say field dress, but to prepare your firearm for first firing. So, first thing that we're going to do is so your traditional cleaning kits usually have the handle, the rod, and then the brush. But the kit I got is a Otis, which comes with a bore snake, which is significantly better than one of the rods because instead of pushing and pulling, this just pulls straight through. It doesn't snag on anything. So without further ado, what you do is you take the tip of it, you push it on through the end of the barrel. You do not need to brush for this since this is a brand new rifle. Any brand new rifle, you do not need to brush because you're really not cleaning off anything. And big shout out to Otis cleaning kits. I am a current student at SDI, and they sent me this Otis cleaning kit, and man, this thing is just fantastic. It's this is not they're not a sponsorship or a promotion, just giving out a shout out, especially to SDI, because without them, I could not teach my knowledge that I've gained through taking the courses so far and handing it over to you guys. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your little I call it a cloth tip. I don't know the technical term for it. Sorry, don't shoot me. So you're gonna take that. That was a pun, by the way. You're gonna take that, screw it on the end of the tip, which is off camera, by the way. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can scoot this over a little bit. Right. So you see the tip, and you feed the cotton through it. Right, cuts through it. Take your Spartan accuracy oil. This is another thing that SDI sent me right here, and man, I love this. This is some really good oil too. Um, my dad he uses, he's old fashioned. He uses the WD-40, and he's like, I ain't gonna go spend money on that. Well, all right, see, in my last video, we explained about budget versus expensive and the reviews and all that. Well, sometimes you have to go expensive, especially when it comes to maintenance, because especially on these budget or cheap firearms, you have to keep the maintenance. You constantly have to keep the maintenance on them, or they're gonna jam up on you. They're gonna misfire. Parts are gonna start to wear out real quickly. So maintenance is a key thing in keeping and using budget firearms. So enough of me talking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shove that down in there, pull that on through like that. Put that down. We're gonna look up into the barrel and see that it's clean and oiled. And you can, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that 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 green grease that is on the backside, that's what's coming out of the barrel. And they do that for a reason to prevent rust from the humidity getting inside the barrel and rusting it out. So you need to clean that junk out of it first. So, next item on our list is the bolt. And what I like to do with this, my brush belt, is one of the things that come in the kit is the Otis brush. You got the big brush on one end and a little brush on the other to get into the nicks and crannies. What I like to do is I like to drop some oil on the brush like so, and I like to coat the outside of the bolt. Get that all nice and coated, like rubbing some barbecue on some chicken on the grill on Sunday. And then, once that all is nice and evenly coated, I like to take some oil and just take a couple drops, drop it into the firing pin, let gravity take effect, let it soak up in there. Because remind you, these are moving parts. So they're metal on metal. So you want to make sure everything's lube, lubed up. Sorry, I can't talk today. You want to make sure everything's lubed up so that friction of metal on metal is a lot less than if it was bare metal on bare metal. So get up there and just a couple drops. You don't need to over oil it. You don't need to take a tub and fill it up with your mom's vegetable oil and toss it in there and let it sit overnight. Just a little bit, just to get everything lubed up. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to reassemble our rifle. So this is the easy part right here. Well, I shouldn't say easy part. I should say trying to think of a nice word to say that's on YouTube, but it is a little bit pain in the ass. I ain't gonna lie. Hopefully y'all ain't offended by that too much. Then you're gonna put the magazine spring in there. You take your barrel and your firing pin. Make sure that's all lined up. Get out of the way. There we go. Now that's in there. And you're gonna push it on down. That's in there. That's in there good. Then you're gonna turn it over. Like so. Take your screw. Screw it on in there. Put the other one in there. So, down in there. Screw it down where that lock washer locks on. Do the same on the other side. There we go. And clicks are your friends. Make sure it's tight as possible, hand tight. There you go. So what happens is when you make sure it's hand tight, the lock washers are engaged and they won't back up. So there's your rifle. You take your bolt, put your bolt assembly through. There is a little button right here, which is your bolt release, just in case some of y'all didn't know. Go like that. Now your rifle is fully put back together, oiled and ready to go. And I will show you. All right, I am clearing the weapon. I am visually inspecting that there is no rounds in there physically inspecting that there's no rounds in the chamber, pushing the bolts. Before I do that, take it off safety. Hear it click. There you go. That is your firing pin. So that is the disassembly, reassembly, oiling, and the final product of making sure that your rifle is ready to go shooting for the first time. Thank you all for watching. Come back and see some other episodes from Kevin's Gunsmithing and Outdoors.